Hello, everybody. This is Faris.
And this is Flournoy, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Homecare Guyz.
Hello, Caleb. What's going on, brother?
Oh, my goodness, Faris. Everything is coming along pretty good. How was your week? How was your weekend or your week?
Man, the week's been really good, man. Coming off of Thanksgiving break, not break, kind of Thanksgiving holiday, rolled into the first week of December, man. Got a chance to, actually last Friday when I got off work, feeling a little down, feeling a little tired. So I called my wife up. We did a last minute notice getaway.
Oh, tell me about that. How was that?
We actually went away, went to the countryside, just to relax a little bit, because I think sometimes being in the city all the time, you kind of just, the noise, the running through traffic and everything, it kind of got a lot. So we got a chance to just relax in the countryside a little bit. Brought my little ones down, and we were able to go through and roast some marshmallows and watch some movies and just kind of relax, man.
I bet that was good.
That did me a world of good, man. It allowed me to kind of just get a really good mental break. I think that's sometimes very important, man.
Man, you know, sometimes it's so important for us to just kind of escape.
Yes.
Escape from... I call it escape from life in a way, you know, especially anytime you go into the country, you know, with pine trees and and you can hear the birds and see the stars, you know, it's a great escape. So I that's great. I know that your family and you really enjoyed that.
Man, we really enjoyed it, man. What all did you get into last weekend?
Well, last weekend I was actually in Tampa. I went to a home care conference with Steve the Hurricane. Shout out to Steve Hurricane.
Yeah.
He's amazing. But I met so many people, man. I networked with a lot of home care providers. I met a few people from Denver, Colorado. I met some people from Chicago, as well as Iowa. Didn't even remember the state of Iowa, but I met some really cool people, and it was just great. We conversed and we shared ideas, and we did something called SWOTs. Have you heard of SWOTs?
Yes, very familiar with it, but definitely go ahead and enlighten our audience about SWOT.
So SWOTs, which is SWOT, means it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and that's what SWOT stands for. And so, as an organization, what we did was we actually had the opportunity to with each of our companies to tell our weaknesses. And so that's what we did, was we ended up just sharing all of our weaknesses, and everybody gave great they had their own perspectives, and they gave great advice on what we should do to fix the situation. And so that was really great. So we learned everybody's weaknesses in their different home care in their different areas, and everybody just addressed it and just kind of built ideas and built like a mastermind kind of group of ideas that we could really take back to our prospective home care companies.
I think it's awesome being able to come together, share those ideas, and actually grow because when that growth, it benefits, vulnerability benefits both parties.
Right.
Because it allows people to realize that they're not on this island by themselves, but also it engages the party to go through and actually come up with solutions that one person may not actually come up with by themselves as well. So, man, that was really cool, man. But we got an amazing topic for today, brother. Tell them about that topic for today.
Oh, my goodness. So the topic is no job, what's next?
No job.
What if you lost your job? And, you know, I think right now it's a very profound topic. It's a topic that we're dealing with right now because not only is people losing jobs, but people are deciding not to work, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do out of life. And I think if you think about COVID, COVID came in and slowed a lot of things down, put a lot of things in perspective when it comes down to even jobs and what you want to do as a career. Yeah. And so right now, as people decide on, you know, if they lost their job, you know, what should they do next? People don't want to go in right now doing the same thing over and over. So we're at a space for what to do next.
Exactly. And I think that's that crossroad that many people actually, in life, it presents opportunities for people to get at that crossroad. Regardless, sometimes people get at that crossroad early on, sometimes it's later in life. Right. But just like you said, I think this COVID-19 experience actually allowed people to engage that crossroad sooner than rather than later. And now we're having to make that decision because some people are choosing not to go back into the job market. Right. Some people, it's not an option for them because the jobs have gone or they're not there anymore. That's true. And others that are still in the job market, they're at a crossroad right now to see if this is something that I still desire to go through and actually continue on as well. But man, it's exciting, man. So let's jump into the conversation, bro.
Well, we have did some research. Research has shown that 85% of people hate their job, strongly dislike their job. And so that's why, if you think about it, as we see all of these now hiring signs throughout our cities and local cities and everywhere we travel, is because people really hate working. Yes. And so if you hate working, think about some of the things that you may want to do. You know, if you lost your job, what are some things that you want to do? How can you go in and join in the workforce or start a new business in this current market right now? Because people just don't want to work.
Exactly. And several reasons why people may not be in the workforce right now. It could be because their boss. It could be because their coworkers. It could be because they're feeling unfulfilled or challenged at that particular job. Or it could be because they are being bit by the entrepreneurial spirit as well. And they're deciding that, you know what, right now is an opportunity for me to go through and step out on faith to go ahead and get something done. So being jobless does not necessarily negate to, okay, laziness. It's just you're at the crossroad right now. You have to go through and decide what you're going to do now that the job is not available.
Well, and I want you to think about this too also, Faris, like, you know, but I'm speaking to the ones that don't have a job, or if you're out of with the job now, this is a crucial moment in your life right now that you can really think about, you know, joining back the workforce, doing what you need to do to survive, or doing something that you want to thrive. And so this is an opportunity for you to say, you know, what do I love doing? What do I feel a joy out of? What can I have joy out of every day and be fulfilled? And that's the most important thing is changing that narrative. Like if 85% of the people don't like to work or don't like their jobs, be the 1 in the 15. This is a crucial time that you could do it. And so there's so many things out there that will motivate you to actually pursue something that you love. And there's something that Faris we always hear about is if you love doing something or you enjoy, you have a passion of doing something, it wouldn't feel like work every day. And so that I would encourage you to find something that you love. Think about it. Write a list of all the things that, you know, I like doing this. I like baking. I love shopping. I love traveling. Whatever it is, think about it, because you can really make a living and really make a business out of it.
Exactly. And one thing I would encourage everyone to do is go back to your childhood when you were innocent, when no was not a possibility. Go back when you were 5, 10, 15 years old, when you were dreaming about doing this, that, and another. And then go through and think about those particular things that when no was not an option and possibility was endless. Think about those things. Think about when you're 15 years old and you started your own little baking company, or you wanted to go through and actually do sales, or you wanted to go through and paint nails, or you wanted to go through and start whatever you wanted to be a doctor. Go through and think about those type of things, because I think, just like you said, once you are working in your passion, once you're walking and working in your passion, again, you don't work another day in your life. It's because you're doing something that you truly enjoy, not something that by circumstances or happenstance you fell into it.
Well, I look at this, Faris. I know you told me about a personality that Lena watches on YouTube, and this little guy name is what, Ryan? Elaborate a little bit about that story about Ryan.
So Ryan's a YouTuber. He has
Ryan's World.
He has a show called Ryan's World, and he started off on YouTube and has expanded to Hulu and Nickelodeon. But he started off doing something that every kid normally does: unwrapping gifts, unboxing gifts, and playing with them. Caleb, first of all, I'm like totally mind blown, like how even my daughter, she'll go on YouTube and watch kids play with dolls and kids play with other things. I'm like, back in our day when we were young, we played with the toys. Now kids watch kids play with toys and kids get paid for that. I'm like, wow, that's mind blowing. But it's fascinating to go through and see his journey. His journey starting off as just a little YouTuber, opening up toys, and how passionate he was about that, and how his parents go through and continue to cultivate his passion as well. And his YouTube following ended up actually having some financial success for him. I think we took some notes. He actually last year he made over $26 million.
Wow.
And he was actually the highest paid YouTuber.
Yeah.
And this is a little kid, 8, 9 years old, unwrapping gifts, playing with gifts, and so much spun from that. Again, he started off on YouTube and ended up going to Nickelodeon and Hulu, ended up having his own toy line. You can go to Walmart and see this toy. It's a lot just
That's amazing, Ryan.
He was operating within his passion.
Right.
And so one thing I go through and say is, if he can do it as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old individual, what's stopping us? What's stopping us? We're out there. We have resources. We have possibilities. We can go through and make decisions. What's stopping us from actually going through and actually fulfilling our dreams as well?
Well, I know one thing that's typically stopping a lot of us is fear. You know, we have a fear of what others will say, the judgment. What about this? What if we fail? And so one thing you have to look at, you can't look at failure as a permanent thing. You have to look at failing as falling as a temporary thing. anything. If you fail at something, you just get back up. That's the easiest thing to say. And so I like that Ryan's family cultivated this new business or something that he loves, which is toys.
And Caleb, Ryan wasn't even thinking about it as a business.
No, he wasn't.
He was passionate about playing.
Right. And so you have, like I said, you have to be passionate about it. And so you have to remove fear from that. Not to ever say that you would never have fear again in your mind, but look at it as something temporary that passes away.
Exactly. And I think that's one thing that stifles a lot of adults is the fear. It's like, oh my Lord, I done went to school for this, and you telling me I can go through and actually change career paths and do that? Or hey, I have so much responsibility. I have children I have to feed. I have a husband, a wife, a partner that I have to go through and be there for.
Yes.
And I have to go through and do what? It's the fear of change. It's the fear of what others may say. It's the fear of I've invested all this money into my education, but now I want to travel for a living. Now I want to go through and bake cookies and cakes for a living. Now I want to go through and start a whole business. Now I have a master's in education, but I want to start a healthcare company. It's the fear right there that goes through and paralyze people from actually allowing them to reach their full potential. And that's one thing that's one thing that has to be eliminated.
And one thing I want to let you know that, especially if you're in this space of, without a job right now and you're thinking about changing your career paths and starting a business, now is the best time. Now is the best time you can ever do it. But think about this. We looked at the comparisons of starting a company 10 years ago versus starting the company presently. And so let's think about some of the things about starting a company 10 years ago. 10 years ago, what you needed a building. Right. You needed money for inventory. You need the first and last month rent. You need to pay the utilities. You need staffing. You need all types of stuff just to fulfill marketing, all these things now. So you need thousands upon thousands of dollars to start a business 10 to 20 years ago versus now.
Now you have Google. You can go through and research things. You can go through and find out how to start. Now it's an idea.
You can start an online business. Nothing less than, a few dollars, tens of dollars.
It's information now. Right. Now the speed of execution is about how fast can you get it done and what limiting beliefs can you go through and actually society and the barrier entry is so low, Caleb. It's so low.
You have stuff like eBay and Shopify that are really making millionaires out of a lot of people that just have an idea. And they're using those platforms like that and Airbnb, just different things from different companies. And so if you're in this pivotal phase of you lost your job or you without a job, I would say you're in a good space.
You're in
a good space.
And one thing, Caleb, I was telling a friend of mine, she's an educator, has I think her master's or specialist in the education field. She's a teacher. And I was telling her, I was like, hey, and kind of getting burnt out. Shout out to teachers. Teachers actually have a lot that they're doing as well.
Oh, yes, they do.
They have a lot to deal with. But I was like, there's so many opportunities for teachers to go through and advance entrepreneurially because you've mastered something. You have a master's or specialist. That means you can teach other people how to go through and teach.
True.
That means you can develop your own curriculums. That means you can develop your own little storybook for children. That means you can develop your own flashcards. That means you can go around teaching other people how to do certain things as well. So education, you got that. To check that off the list. So now what do you do with it? Do you go through and complain and say, I'm going to be in the classroom for 30 years? Or do you go through and actually use that experience that you were in the classroom to go through and accelerate your personal growth as an entrepreneur, to go through and actually educate children on another level? Your education may be something online now. You may have to go through and do your tutoring services online, or may have different courses, 5-6 week courses that they go through and develop things online.
I love that.
So now that you mastered something, go through, start something, start a podcast, sell something online, go through and just do something. And I think that's where the world is going right now.
Yeah. And I would definitely encourage everyone, especially if you're in a space of trying to figure some things out, definitely starting something online. You want to get into technology.
Yes.
You want to, gone are the days of the brick and mortar days, I believe. I look at Kylie Jenner, Faris. Kylie Jenner started the makeup line or the lipstick line, and she doesn't have any stores. Everything is done through online sales. I know I went through actually the airport, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. I saw vending spaces with those little lipsticks. Everything is going online. And so you don't need a brick and mortar mortar. You don't need a storefront downtown in the middle of the highly trafficked area. Only thing you need right now is pretty much a website. Yeah. You need a desire to learn, and you can really start a successful business right now here. This is the right time. This is the right season. You just have to go in and do it, and you have to remove fear. Fear has to be cannot be nowhere associated with you. Fear has to be removed. So once you remove fear, you got it. You could be just like Ryan.
Exactly.
Be just like Ryan. Do something passionate about it. Be successful. And the only thing that's holding you back is yourself.
That's it, man. And I think that right there really sums it up, Caleb, because now, again, we started off with, okay, now you don't have a job. Like now this is the prime opportunity.
Right.
Now is the time to go through and say, you know what? Hey, right now it's time for me to be passionate about something. Now it's time for me to go through and start something that I'm going to go through and start, and it's going to build to something as well. And I think just this episode is going to touch so many people. It's going to inspire them to go through and get something started. And I'll be very curious if you can just comment below if you're listening to this on Facebook, YouTube, or even in the podcast world and Spotify. Comment below. I would like to hear some things that you would challenge yourself, some things that you would dedicate to yourself right now. Hey, I'm committed to doing X, Y, and Z. I'm committed to finding out or starting a business. I'm committed to finding a different career path or whatever you're desiring. I'm looking for that commitment as well.
That sounds like a plan. Well, there you have it. This is a great episode. You know, don't beat yourself up if you can't find a job. This is maybe a time for you to start a business.
Exactly.
Okay. So I want you to know that, but that's a great episode. I want you to remember, like and share our episodes on Spotify. Definitely go to Spotify and subscribe to our account. Yes. If this information has been great and valuable for you, we want you to like and share it on YouTube and other social media platforms as well.
Exactly. And also I want you to go through and actually engage with us as well in conversation. You may see a link below. Go through and click on that link below. Leave us some voice messages. Allow us to get some information, some feedback from you as well, because we want to go through and actually be the voice that you listen to, the voice that you come to kind of get the information that's going to go through and help prepare your life. And Chris, Caleb, man, it's just been a delight to go through and actually, even as we continue, as we get ready to close out this year, Caleb, this has just been an amazing journey, and the lives that have already been impacted and the lives that we're going to impact, I'm super excited about as well, man.
I'm excited about 2022. So there you have it, guys. Conversation with the Homecare Guys. Have a great day.